like to bring the finance committee meeting to order at 6:01 PM. You wanna go through meeting minutes first?
We only have Heather here for the first half an hour, so we should probably do the reserve fund transfer, cause I'm sure.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Heather, you get the stage if you'd like it, if not.
Well, I think that it's, somewhat self-explanatory. The litigation costs for the, which, I guess are unanticipated. The analysis that I provided kind of shows that the administration, when we have counsel review things like town meeting warrants, when we check in with our day-to-day administrative questions or concerns, that is not driving the excessive use of legal funds. It's the litigation topics that they are actively representing the town of Rutland on, to the tune of $10,000 for one case, $12,000 for the other, and that's just since January. So certainly we know that we'll have additional costs between now and June 30th, and we'll want to make sure that we can pay those bills. So we're asking for a $25,000 transfer to manage those invoices.
And it sounded like there wasn't necessarily a target date for those to end, right?
The litigation, no.
Okay.
I'm limited on how much information I can share, but in the two primary cases, I anticipate that it is still probably another year before they're settled.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
Well, with last year's budget, we knew legal was light.
This year it's no different.
Well, no.
We appropriated $50,000 last for the, and I think that it's clear that if we can stay out of litigation, we can manage. I'm gonna come up here just because it's easier to, I'm not really able to turn around. I'll just insert myself, sorry. But we can certainly manage with $50,000 if we're keeping it to our, take a look at our town meeting warrant. And this question has come up, and the finance committee will get clarification on this. And those are the types of things that I think we can demonstrate are not the budget drivers.
I don't know how to get out of this one. This legal thing is, and this is not, unfortunately, we're gonna have to make sure that we get some money in the reserve, because we are going to, this is not far from done, by the way. We are.
Of what, the litigation?
The litigation. We have got two big cases we're trying to defend against. It's not going good. Well, it's not going good, but it's gonna be painful to get there.
I don't know, unless you have insider information, but I think that it would certainly not be the select board's intention to maintain ongoing litigation if they did not feel it was the right direction to move forward. And if we thought any of this, that we were on the wrong side of it, we would acknowledge and, sever that, but I think the potential liability is greater if we didn't maintain an active defense.
Without divulging,
Yes.
question, is there anything that's out there that we would see some thing from?
No.
I guess I have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Who asked about the library space? I'll just run down. So we've got
Yeah.
library space, but we've got a trustee group. I don't know why it wouldn't come out of their trustee funds. We have cable, let me just run down them and then you can answer. The PEG, why that doesn't come out of cable, planning board maybe even, I don't know all of the things about it. And the sewer agreements, that should come out of sewer. Those are things that I'm thinking, why the
So,
town's paying.
on the other side, I mentioned that the planning board items were being paid for from the revolving fund, where appropriate. There have been some additional planning board questions that have come up that are not related to, say, subdivision review, or that we have had to seek counsel's input into. So, and then PEG, it really depends on what we're asking council to review, whether or not it is a PEG expense or is the town asking. So for example, the contract with PEG, that's a town, we aren't billing that off to PEG because the contract really rests with the town, not with the operational functions of PEG. But again, that has not been a huge expense for us. And as far as the library trustees, the town wanted clarification on, so that we could best address questions as they come up with the override, about the ability to still have access to the building. We wanted to make sure that we were very clear on making sure, the trustees have the jurisdiction or the ability to set library hours.
Were we favorable with that? Or we found in the day?
We haven't received the final opinion yet.
Okay,
I suspect that the trustee, that the opinion will be upheld that the trustees have jurisdiction over the building. Even though it is a town-owned building, I believe that we'll find ourselves.
Is that what the question is? Who has jurisdiction over the building? I mean,
Yeah, so quite honestly, I'm not gonna get into the,
asking for specifics. I'm asking what the general
Well, that
thing
was,
is about.
that was one of the questions. And also, there's an MOA, the library has asked for an MOA with the town to put into writing what the association with PEG is. So we're just having, they've presented a MOA document, we're having council review that. And through that process, other questions have come up that don't really, we can't necessarily bill off to a PEG operational cost, which is what the PEG funds are for.
Okay, but the only thing that I have a question is the negotiation of the contract with Spectrum for the PEG funds. We can't bill PEG for that, where it's not gonna benefit the town at one iota.
So
That only affects cable.
I understand. This is just, first of all, I'm falling back on precedent. Where have you taken these funds for before? You only negotiate this contract once every 10 years. And if that was the budget driver, I mean.
Yeah, but we gotta look for every nickel we can find. Correct.
Heather, Darren, if I may, I don't know, can you guys hear me okay?
yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's super loud. So the recent PEG charges with relation to the contract negotiation with Spectrum, I did charge those to the PEG access account and notified the cable folks so that they could track that on their end. And also
I
to
did-
clarify that, the DCR sewer charges have consistently been coming out of the sewer enterprise account.
Tamika, I'd like to go back to that. I didn't realize that you were charging those off to Peg, but I guess we can, or if I did, I'd like to go back to that. But we can talk about that offline.
So there's a possibility that 3,000 to 4,000 will go to Peg, Tamika, is what you're saying?
That's what she's saying, is that she has charged that off to Peg.
Okay, all right.
Not $3 to $4,000. There was only a couple of charges that were specific to PEG operations that I charged, and it
Okay.
was maybe $250 to $500. It was a very minimal amount of money.
Okay,
So not the actual contract negotiations then?
No, not that
Okay.
itself.
Okay, I misunderstood what you were saying.
I'm sorry. I probably didn't explain it well. I
Okay.
apologize.
Thank you, Tamika.
And the charter review, I was under the impression the Collins Center was handling that for us.
So the Collins Center, the grant that you received, the Collins Center was paid the sum of money. The charter review and the select board, I mean, the charter committee and the select board wanted our town council to review the final charter.
and they
which is-
they ran out of money before they were done also, which was interesting.
And I guess my whole thing comes in where,
Yeah.
again, all about communication, we're gonna have to fund this ourselves now, so just kind of give us a heads up.
And from talking to the charter committee chairman, he didn't know they were out until one day the guy called him and said, we're out of money. So, I understand your question, but they didn't know till the very end. And the selectmen want our town attorney to review it.
And that review that our town council is doing is gratis. We talked about that, I think, at the last meeting, that they are doing the entire charter review at no
So
cost.
for it to be on here is really, kind of just cross that off, because it's not really a cost driver at all, because it's free.
Yes.
Okay.
They may have given us an initial bill for the first consultation, but the work that they're doing to rewrite it, or to offer editorial, comments, that part is free. So there may have been an initial cost for the original call.
So the third one down, DESI Regional School Budget Guidance.
Is that our question?
That was our question.
Mhm.
And I heard about this and I asked, that was 565 or something, right, Tamika? Just so everybody knows, to be out in the open.
But again, I can't stress, those are the types of questions we should be asking, right? That's what that budget is there for, is we wanna continue to operate from the better safe than sorry. We wanna have good information as we move through our fiscal years. And when we don't have litigation, your budget can fully support these types of things that we're, kind of focusing our thoughts are on, whereas incurring the, $12,000
So,
for legal defense since January, that's what's crushing us.
so my question came up, and it's probably gonna come up from someone in our group here, is there anywhere else that we can find that money other than the reserve fund? And they do not have any other sources to fund it at this time.
No, we do not have any additional sources to fund legal.
How much is left in the reserve fund?
It would be 44.5
Before the 25 or after the 25?
after the 25.
Okay.
Is there any money in, is there any money in the future budget to put money in the reserve fund?
Yeah.
Yes. You have an appropriation.
Okay. So,
The way we've been paring down these budgets, to go forward without a reserve fund would be really scary.
well, so I guess I asked that as rhetorical, but I also wanted someone to say it out loud, so we all know that.
But next year, we're at 25. And this year, 25 is not gonna cut nearly any kind of oopsies. Because in a year where we actually have a budget, we have 107, and we're going through that like that, and none of it is covering the snow and ice.
Correct.
I was just gonna say that, cause we have money this year in this because of the other amount that went in there. Where we don't normally have even anyways near this.
Right.
That was the
So
chapter.
this is just a spot, this is a good spot to find some money, cause it's there this year, so.
It would be, probably have to come out of free cash if we
And
didn't
I
have
don't
this.
mean a good spot in a good way, so.
No, I understand.
It's,
I
it's
just-
an easier request than trying to look for other avenues.
It does give us a little bit of, and I'll be honest with you, it gives us a little bit of
Checks and
oversight.
balances.
Yeah, on this,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we're at,
oversight's good.
right, oversight, checks and balances, it's what our job's supposed to be, so. I mean, I understand, I think it's very unfortunate that we have to do 25,000, and I wish we could.
Well-
I think we should also, at some point, make the recommendation, either we cut our losses and move on. Because putting this down the road forever, if there's gonna be, I would,
To what,
Pull it.
what are you, cut,
What are you
cut
talking
our
about?
losses?
what if you could settle with some of these people?
No,
And,
that's up to them to decide that.
well, maybe it's time to settle instead of paying
Well, maybe.
$25,000
Maybe.
whacking away.
We haven't been asked that question, that I know.
No, but anyways,
Well, it brings up a good point, right? The intensity of these expenditures are much higher than we normally see, right? And so now, what is the oversight of that? Because I don't see like extra legal people running around looking for things to do to make sure that these funds are spent in making progress on those cases. Like, who's making those decisions? you
It's
know?
like,
So they'll go to executive session and say like, okay, this is what we did this month, this is why there's this many hours, and was that the right thing to do?
and the only checks and balances is us. That we can agree or disagree with this because of, or ask for
No,
explanation, correct? You know,
I mean, if you extrapolate this out, it's
yeah, it's,
a huge chunk of change. So.
yes, and it's not getting smaller.
Can we not use unused salary to cover some of this?
not until we can do end of year transfers.
Which May 15th, right?
May 1st,
Is it May 15th or is it May 1st?
the 1st.
May 1st. So in 2 weeks, we couldn't wait because I know that we have some unused salary lines because we have unfilled positions.
It's your reserve fund.
Karen, what we could do,
Well, the only, just before you said, based on what you just said too, that's what I said. The thing is, once we put this over there, then we can't get it back or use it for anything else.
but we could ask for, we could make a request for free cash to replenish the reserve fund like we did last year in all these amounts.
We can't do that at the annual town meeting. Well, we could for the end of the year, but that's not gonna do any good. Because you only have until July 1st.
Right.
Versus we got it in, the big chunk that we got was due to
Chapter
Chapter 70 monies.
Right.
So I think since we know that whether it comes from, because your reserve fund doesn't roll over, right?
It goes to free cash.
Cash,
Yeah.
as would those salaries.
Yep.
So it's the same pot of money. And I guess I just offer that, you know, this way it's clean, right? If we do reserve fund transfers, if we do end of year transfers, it's not easily as trackable, right? We can go back and we can look very quickly at what you did for a reserve fund transfer as opposed to having to go in and look for the journal entries for the salary line. But again, we'll find it from somewhere because we're gonna have to pay the bills. We will have three more months worth of $10,000 bills.
Well, could we, to Heather's point, it's trackable, it's easily trackable in the reserve fund. If we go low in the reserve fund and we get close, couldn't we at that point take the money out of the unused salaries and put that into the reserve, transfer that into the reserve fund before year end?
Nope. Has
Can't
to
do
be,
that.
has to be done at a town meeting.
And the warrant for this town meeting is closed,
Yep.
right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's posted, so.
Oh, yes.
And it used to be that the town meeting in May, you had to wait till July first to use it. But my interpretation now is town council has made this so that the town meeting, you can pass things at the May meeting that do apply to this fiscal year as well as July first. Depends on how they're written.
Well,
Right, the use of free cash,
Correct.
yeah.
or if we're appropriating from available funds, or the retained earnings like we're doing in
Right.
Article 2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can't be we've already set our tax rate, so we can't do
Right.
anything raise and appropriate.
So, does anyone have any more? Yes.
So
go ahead.
is $25,000 pay the bills as of April 16th? And you're gonna be incurring, not you, but
Yeah.
incurring
We're anticipating.
another $20,000?
No, we're anticipating with the 25,000, it's our intention that will get us through the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, the way I read this was from the end of March to the end of the year.
April, May, and June are the bills that we're anticipating not being able to cover without.
Estimate to get us through June 30th.
So I guess that goes, now with that clarification, that from me, Carol speaking, is that I had suggested we pay bills in this for reserve fund transfer, not anticipating bills. And that's very clean too. But side note, even with an override, we're looking at legal services of only $25,000. So that's, doesn't sound like it's anywhere near sufficient, at least for the next year or so.
No, we're over that
And
by
there's nothing we
quite a
can do
bit.
about that, but just note.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I think it's unanticipated, right? Unfortunately, what do we do?
Well, I don't know if we didn't know that when we wrote a $48,000 figure in that line. I don't know, I'm not blaming it, that's not blame,
Well,
that's, did we not know
yes, and
these
then
things?
and just for the sake of argument, I mean, we're paring down everything the best we can, so somewhere we gotta find money to do other things. So maybe that's not the best line, but someone that's in charge of the budget thought it was a good place. And whether we,
it's also, there are a lot of lines
Oh,
that will be short, and where I was thinking about, some of the issues that from a litigation standpoint, when I said that both of those, there's actually, hopefully one of them would be resolved sooner than later. I think the land issue is the one that's gonna drag out for a little while.
So there's nothing that says we couldn't have you send another one at the end of, in May for whatever bills come in. And this way, at least we pay everything through the end of April.
do we? Karen,
Instead of, like Carol said, pay the bills, so pay the bills, and then if you need more money, then we'll do it that way, and then, I know it's not that inconvenient, I guess, because then you'd be able to say, here's the bill we have, and here's what it's made up of.
So are you suggesting by your May 1st statement that with salaries, that there's enough money to do this May 1st?
Yep.
Well, there's no outstanding bills at this point in time that can't be paid with the available funds. It's just
The future,
anticipated that we're gonna run out. And so that's what we're guarding against. If we follow we'll help you out with what's billed, then as long as we can be responsive enough, right? Then that should work, but we gotta be responsive.
Well, it's kind of a slippery, slippery slope, because you're not supposed to commit any expenses if you don't have the funds somewhere to
So,
pay the bill.
right, so
So
then
in a lot
that's,
of cases, like
so
you said,
then
some
that
accounts
would-
are short,
that
but
would-
they have other spots in their budgets that they could get the money from. So technically, it's there, but we've been sitting here and
that's
got the
why-
bills.
that's why
that-
the-
Well, here's the bill, and there was no money for it anyways.
understood, yeah.
So it's
So
kind of,
from that point of view, it's,
we should
it's
be
better.
doing this so that they know they have money that they can pay and bills
Yes.
that they know are coming up.
and
You're
nobody
right.
can say, like, we
It's-
just
it's a
gotta
tough
drag
one
it
to
out another
decide.
month and then
Yeah,
That's a different
we could
perspective on it.
outlast
I guess though-
outlast the town somehow.
I guess though, to go back to my, and I'm sorry, and I know you're now checking your watch. No, but how do we know really what is going on with the reserve fund transfer if we're giving away chunks of anticipated rather than actuals? Because it can't come back into the fund, so it just goes to free cash. So it's not, I like nickel and diming accuracy, so, that, again, that's just my
So, and then.
My thought, but-
And then what Tommy just said brings me to a different spot that says you can't really expend money if you knowingly know that it's not there. So that's where we get in this little jam.
Or do we give a portion to, not a full 25? Who did we do that to?
Nick,
Nick, George. I'll do what,
Or do we give like $5,000 and, cause we're meeting weekly, so we've got time. We can be responsive if we have to be.
well, and even if it had to be a night, on a different night, we do
Right.
a Zoom meeting, I mean, it's not.
It's quick.
we've got meetings
quick
booked every Thursday
That's what
from
I'm saying,
now
but
until
even
whatever, right
still,
through,
I mean,
so.
right,
I don't want, I guess I don't wanna be the reason that someone says we haven't got money there.
I don't
And
wanna be a barrier.
I don't know if it would go that way, but I don't wanna be that reason, so
there's still
if I
gonna,
would,
the legal bills are still gonna come in regardless of whether we fund this or not.
And I'm gonna still continue to,
Right.
we're
It's still gonna
continue
come
to
in, so it's not gonna do what Tommy says, which is we're not supposed to. We're still gonna have those legal bills coming in, and we can then fund them as we need to.
We just won't be able to pay them until we supplement that line.
Right.
But you must pay the bills within 30 days, right?
what's your, all
And
right,
it's KP. They are not going to,
I'll find a bill that's due next August for 2023.
right?
Yeah,
No, but I mean, it's.
hopefully that
it's-
doesn't happen
it-
again.
But we would not be the first community at this time of year to ask them to just hold their horses for another couple of weeks on an invoice. That's what we're doing with the, emergency repairs to the, sewer pumps. We had to tell Weston Sampson that with their
Slow your roll for
slow your roll, until we can get to town meeting and appropriate those funds from retained earnings. So we try not to do that too often, but this time of year. So everybody runs out of money.
well-
So if it's the committee's choice that we come back with an actual invoice for the April appropriations, we can do that. And we'll take it month by month.
I think I would rather have Heather withdraw it than vote no on it. If that makes sense. We don't have to, we discussed it, and after further discussion, the town administrator thought it would be best to hold off, and we're gonna look for that May first date, right?
Well, I'm hearing two different things. Do you want to address these as reserve fund transfers? Or do you want to address them as end of year transfers?
both,
Both, okay.
depending upon how much you've got and where we can find spots to go. Because then that way, if we do have, in the short term that we've got left to the end of the fiscal year, a lot of things can go wrong. And this way at least.
And always do.
And the reserve fund, we can move quickly on versus all the other stuff, so.
So do we need a consensus vote, or do we need someone make a
Because
motion?
the town administrator is withdrawing,
Okay,
no vote needed.
okay.
I don't know, I don't even know why I brought it to you in the first place.
Yes.
That's all right, Glenn. Let's slow that roll down.
Okay, can you sign the other one though, this is the one that you
Hey,
did.
it's already my fake name.
Oh, it's already
Sure.
your
So-
At least with this, you gave us a good heads up so we can look at some of the information to understand it going forward, so we'll be a lot quicker.
There you go. Any other related items according to that?
Any, before I go into
Does anyone have a quick question for her?
the abyss that is charter.
I don't think she really wants to.
Do we,
I-
we
I-
have
I
the
told-
fleet list.
I told Darren that I would much rather be in this meeting.
Did we get the fleet list and maybe I missed it?
Oh, I was gonna send you that from the insurance, yeah.
Could you do that for us, please? That's all.
Yeah. Tamika, do we have a electronic version of the Maya property schedules?
Yep, I have a fleet schedule. I just made a note to myself. I can send it on Monday.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Bless you.
I had a quick charter question. I thought that I read as I was reviewing some of this stuff from things that I missed, that we're not gonna vote at it on town meeting in May, is that?
That's, I think, the topic that I am walking into across the hall. I think the charter committee is going to discuss what their next steps are tonight. So
Well, one of them
TBD,
beekeeper's hornet suits?
Or Kevlar.
I don't happen to have one with me, but
Yeah.
I could, maybe you have a heavy sweatshirt maybe or something.
the fact that I would, I'd rather talk budget all night than go to this.
So, can we go back just for a second?
Go ahead.
Karen, what was the thing you just asked about the?
The fleet list, what we have for vehicles.
And vehicles.
Okay, the vehicles, okay. And that, we're working on that, or we got it?
So what I was just gonna forward is the list that that we have from our insurance provider. So the list as.
Yep, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna be, it's not a, it's not like an Excel or anything, it's just gonna be a
That's
PDF.
okay, I just didn't, I wanted to make sure I understood the word you used,
Yeah,
that's all.
sorry.
All right,
It's something we call it in accounting, sorry.
so
I had asked for that before.
No, that's fine.
I have,
I'm Heather.
Summons.
I have March, on my meeting minutes,
You're
I have
welcome.
March 19th. Is that something that I don't see that. Did anyone get that one?
March,
Hi, Darren. I didn't print them because I had printed them for 2 other meetings prior. So to be honest, I was just trying to save some paper thinking everybody had them.
Yep, understood. So can I have a motion to, thank you, Tamika.
Was the March 19th one that we adjusted a little bit?
We didn't talk about it yet, I don't
that
think.
was the school.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone have a motion regarding the March 19th meeting? Excuse me, yes, March 19th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of March 19th.
Do we have a second? Do we have any discussion? Do we have a second? I don't have a second, do we?
I wasn't here.
The school,
I wasn't here.
Second.
okay. Do we have any discussion in regards to that meeting on March 19th?
Well, I do quick, but there's,
Go ahead.
it was a very involved meeting, and I'm sure that even the things that I'm thinking about is minimal compared to, and we couldn't capture everything, so I'm saving that to say that I'm not trying to poke holes, but it does talk about 14 full-time positions being positions being reduced by 14 people. I know that Karen made a comment that she was tallying up as he was going through, and there were actually another at least 11 included, new ones or movements.
Yes.
So if we're gonna have the 14 reduced, I think that we should offset that by saying that, however, there were 11 new.
Right, they've
Positions.
moved.
So there's a total of 25 then?
No,
No, there was.
14 down,
14
11
gone,
up,
but
so with the
11
net.
So that probably is like he explained during one of the budget information sessions that you can't even though enrollment's down, and he cut some staff, which was, he explained it was mostly at the high school, but still he had to add like to the elementary school, teachers to the elementary schools.
Right, no, and I'm not denying that, but like Carol's like, we purposely said they have reduced 14 FTEs. Well, they reduced 14 but added 11. So net, we're only talking 3.
Understood. Tamika, you understand that, correct?
Yes, I can make that change.
But with the 11,
But check the math, because I don't remember that
You
without,
said 11.
I think it was 11, but I'm not gonna guarantee that, so count.
He agreed.
Yes,
so-
because I said, wait a second, I counted up.
okay, so whatever it was, if that number's 11, let me
Yeah.
just use it for that. Were those positions that were already in the budget previously, or were those added into this budget?
Added into the budget from what I remember seeing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't looked at it since March.
No, but I
No,
think
I-
they
I
were
do.
added in because
They
those
were
were
added in,
those
'cause when I did bring-
counselors and
Because
things.
when we added it up,
There was a
he did say,
counselor,
yes, it's new.
Glenwood, there
Right,
was
right.
It's not really the same, right? It is what he said, which is a strategic, like, cutting of staff and a strategic addition of completely different staff.
Precisely.
It's not
And-
just like shuffling Mary from over here to over
No.
there.
But but we've only given,
No, it is completely different jobs.
but my whole thing is that the 14, we didn't reduce by 14 FTEs. We added some, so I just want to make sure that somebody does the
So
math.
Tamika can do that. Do we have any other questions about that? The 19th? All those in favor of the March 19th meeting minutes with the changes?
Hold on one second, there is something that I would like to put in, because this is where it came in. So we were told at that meeting that the 1.5 miles would be like walking from the place over on Palmagussit into town. There are sidewalks all the way from that development all the way into town. And it was made to sound from when it was brought up that they were walking on, hairy, scary roads. There are wide sidewalks all the way from that development, all the way into where they would be going to school. So I think
What, that is not correct.
it is.
Miles Road does not have wide sidewalks, any sidewalks.
Miles Road itself doesn't, no.
But wouldn't you be coming up Miles Road?
Where's Miles Road?
Going up to Devereux.
Deborah,
Okay, but she wasn't saying Devereaux, she was saying as far as, and I forget the name of it.
Brunel.
Brunel, thank you, because I call it something else. So Brunel coming in, there are wide sidewalks from there, there's a crosswalk, everything from Brunel all the way into town.
You're right, when they did Palmagussit Road, they put the sidewalks in.
Added sidewalks, yeah.
Yep, all the way down.
That was just brought up, I remember.
So how do you want to change that?
I just would like it to state that, well, I guess it doesn't have to be in our minutes. I've now said it, so it's good enough. Because that was the thing, that was brought up, and I wanted to bring it up and I
Clarify
forgot.
that. That's fine. That's great. Any more discussion? All those in favor of accepting the March 19th minutes, so signify by saying aye
With the correction.
with the corrections.
corrections.
Yeah, yes, with the corrections.
And I abstained because I wasn't here.
Okay,
me too.
understood. That passes. I have March 26th next. We talked about a bunch of stuff on there. I reviewed it quick. I didn't see anything on there that stood out to me, unless someone else does. I'd like a motion from the floor to accept the meeting minutes of March 26th, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
26 was the week after. I'm sorry.
You were here. Okay. Any discussion on those? All those in favor of the March 26th meeting? Ted, you weren't here. So signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ted abstained. Okay, so that one passes. April 2nd one, I'll go through it, but I cannot vote on that. Is it all right for me to present it?
Sure.
Okay. The meeting minutes from April 2nd. Do we have a motion? You were here, you can look at it right here.
Oh, yes.
I read this.
What do you need, a second?
I need a motion.
Motion to accept the minutes from April 2nd.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Do we have any discussion on it? All those in favor? Ted and Darren will be abstaining. So signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? 2 abstentions. Okay. April 6th. Present were Darren, Carol, Lynn, and Karen. Ted wasn't here, Ludwig wasn't here, and Thomas Rochelle was not here. Can I have a motion from someone of the people that were here, please?
What date was it? The what?
The 6th.
That's the Monday meeting,
Oh,
the
short little one.
Zoom.
It was a Zoom one.
Do we have meeting minutes for that?
Yep.
Like the San Diego.
Were they in last week's?
They must have been, cause they're not in today's.
I got one.
Well, I'm looking online. Karen just handed it.
Okay.
So we didn't look at that.
The third paragraph, everybody, that's gonna come up in, when we talk about some other things, so everybody knows what you're looking at. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from April 6th.
Okay, second, please.
Second. Carol seconds.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the April 6th meeting minutes, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. April 9th. That was our last, meeting last Thursday. A lot going on there. I looked at it quickly, the motions the selectmen voted yes on everything and we voted, well, except that one towards the end, but these notes followed what our motions or our wishes were or the votes that we took. That was what I was able to see out of that, unless someone has a question, I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
For the 9th, right?
For the 9th.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion on the floor for the 9th. Is anyone,
Second.
okay? Ludwig and Ted will have to abstain from this one. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes from April 9th, so signify by saying aye. Okay,
So what happened April 2nd? Oh, we already did those.
yes.
Okay.
So, well, I'm getting through them. All right, so I wanna talk about in specific, so everybody's on the same page, I'd like to talk about article number seven. And that ties back to the minutes of April 6th, where I thought we should have some skin in the game.
So we're in town, what you said Article 7?
Article 7. So, I'd like to discuss if on what everybody's feeling are. There was, I remember hearing it, I can't see it here, Karen, but didn't we, I know you have pretty much photographic memory through you guys, didn't we say something about $200,000 would be from, if the override did not pass,
It's 100,000.
what's that?
It's 100,000.
Okay, and where does it say that?
You gotta do the math. They don't like to tell you too much. You gotta figure it out on your own.
What's the 100,000?
If the school cut.
If the override doesn't pass, we would take $100,000
Out of the discretionary funding.
to fund the school budget. And that's also that 300 and, but that's not what I'm thinking about. So, I would like to at least have the group consider that on the town meeting floor, at the town meeting, we would modify something here, and we all have to discuss where exactly. It has to be the discretionary account, something under the $100,000 request. And it's gonna be difficult, or I'm gonna need help figuring out how to say it and how to word it. But we would have to have it all done, and then on the town meeting floor, we would maybe propose $50,000 less if the override doesn't pass. And I don't even know how to say that in this, but cause they didn't tell us that. I think it would go back to which, and this is where I need Karen's help, would it go back to,
If we don't pass the override, the school budget for Wachusett has been reduced by $100,000.
can we,
We could always do more. Yes, we could always do more. But the concern is,
you gotta
Wow.
take it out of free cash later.
yeah, but that's what they're planning on doing anyway. She already said that. She goes, that 100,000 plus the potential 20,000 for the DPW, for the dispatch, we're all gonna come out of, will be handled in the fall town meeting, which means free cash.
So, is there any teeth to what I'm saying, that we could reduce this budget, somehow word it, and I think we're gonna have to go to town council again, and say that the discretionary assessment will reduce by $50,000. And
50,000 more,
we would reduce it by 50,000.
another 50,000. It's being reduced now by 100,000 with the cut budget. You're talking at the override budget?
I'm talking so that at the town meeting, the Wachusett article we would send a message to the administration at the school that we went down by X amount and their budget failed. Right now, that budget's gonna pass. if the override goes through.
Well, the number that you say the cut budget is the one the town administrator showed in that cut column?
Right, so that,
It should be that number, that's what the number should be.
But
Do you have
that,
separate articles for whether the override passes and doesn't pass?
No,
So, what, are we trying to make a
For-
portion of the discretionary assessment
Gentlemen, we can
contingent
talk.
on the override passing? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, but it's not in there.
it is
I'm
in
just asking, is that what our goal is? Is that our goal?
well, all I'm saying is.
Is that
we're-
your goal?
Yes, well, hear me out, and Darren's gonna go back like this, and this
Yep.
relates to the April 6th meeting minutes. We are going to cut 14 people from police, fire, and DPW, and numerous other positions. I think it's gonna be 19 or 20 positions all around town. And we are fully funding the school budget in either if the override passes or fails. And I don't know how to send a message that I think it's wrong of us, being the checks and balances and the oversight of the finances in this town, that we're just gonna let 20 people from the town, our people, go, and nothing, the budget for the schools stays the same. That's Darren's 2 cents.
Right, I'm good with that, but we do it to Bay Path too, but we can't because there's a minimum
it's
assessment because of the way state funds it, so
Right.
we're quote unquote screwing the Wachusett Regional School District students more than the Bay Path students, just because the way state funds.
Bay Path doesn't ask for any discretionary funds.
That has to do with how many get funded on a
Okay, I'm
per
just-
student
The
basis.
budget is only got 3 parts to it, they don't ask for discretionary funds, they only ask for the net minimum.
You can, that's right, but that's because of the state funding they get per student.
I don't disagree with you, I'm just saying.
So I'm just saying, you're screwing the Wachusett Regional School District students more so than the Bay Path students. It's not fair. That is one of the problems with this, right?
That's correct, we've talked
Somebody
about
ought to
that
explain to
numerous
the
times.
Wachusett school students that life's not fair.
Well, I mean, that's why we're,
Oh,
well,
boy,
that's why we're having this discussion, guys. I don't,
they're in school, okay?
yeah, I want them to, somehow, I wanna send a message to the
think
employees of the town,
Absolutely.
but I don't,
right?
that's why I'm bringing it up here, guys. I don't know how we do it.
If the override does not pass, Wachusett budget has failed by our town because we've reduced the Wachusett assessment by $100,000.
I wanna make sure that is fact.
That is fact, it's right here. And she stated it in one of her emails to us, that the $100,000 cut, if every other town votes the school budget in 100%, we would have to take that in November, which means we would have to fund it with free cash.
So she's under by $100,000 in these line items.
In Wachusett, yes.
If, and
If
just
the
to make
override
sure,
doesn't
because
pass.
there's this magic deduction that may or may not have been approved Monday night, right? I don't remember.
Well, it's on the final, budget that we have.
So I don't necessarily think then hearing that, we have to do anything.
Right.
But we have to explain it on the town meeting floor, and I don't, see Karen, I'm getting the impression that it's not, that it's gonna, I don't know. I'm getting the impression they think they're fully funded and that we wouldn't.
Well,
who's
no,
they? I'm
'cause
sorry.
that's not, I don't believe that
Who's
that's
they?
correct,
The
the way
school?
this Article 7 is worded. It doesn't there's no reference in this article to any 2.5 override.
Hence, like, well,
Okay,
so,
but then we have to get that information, because the last budget we have, and the notes that she sent us, and I forgot what day that was, she said that she cut the assessment by $100,000, and we would have to make that up in November.
It's right here.
Right, and it's right there on what we have as our last budget, so if she's made changes,
I don't know
But
if
she
this
made
is
the
last one I
changes, but that
saved.
doesn't mean, it's not
Shouldn't
in
it
the
be on
warrant.
this?
Well, what,
that's,
I think-
it
I
should be
think
on
that-
that, it's not?
here's I think
So
what
she
the-
didn't give us the updated spreadsheet again?
I
This,
I mean, unless
the
I'm
only-
just
Karen,
missing.
the only one that has the reference to the 2.5 override is Article 4
I think,
to the municipal departments for
This
the
is saying the
fiscal
last
year.
time I said
Let me-
it.
Where
And
was
it
that
has
from?
the,
let me try and explain it this
That's
way,
in her
what I think they
packet.
did, right?
That's
So
going
they,
at the
they
town
knocked
meeting,
down the
this
number
thing.
by 100,000.
on her sheet, she did.
On this,
Yeah.
this number is less by 100,000 than the original request. And the message essentially is like, if the school budgets across the town, various towns don't pass, then this number carries. If it does pass, it's the higher number, but we only appropriated this.
Okay, but this number that we're voting for at the town meeting is the total number with the $100,000.
Take it out.
No,
Nope,
No, with
Nope.
it in.
nope.
with it in.
Tamika,
I don't think,
Yep.
could you please make sure that you send an email tonight to Heather, asking her to send us the updated budget so that we're referring to the right numbers, because the numbers that I'm seeing in your packet are different than the updated budget that we have.
Yes.
Please. Why is that so hard?
that,
Budget, yeah.
I don't see a
But
budget.
is it, did you guys have a hard copy handout of budget for
No.
today? No.
It's right here. You can see it, Ted was right, it's in this.
We got that tonight,
I got a printed copy,
but
and it's not there. So the one that's on the spreadsheet that she sent us and said, here's the updated budget, has changed.
so where is that one from, Karen? You printed that out at home?
That's from the,
This
that's
is the one I'm looking
the
at.
pretty,
Doesn't show it.
pretty that we're gonna spend.
It's part of the ATM.
Oh, it's in the packet that I've got open right here.
Yeah, but
Okay,
it
I
doesn't
see.
reflect what is on here, and what she told us was the $100,000 was gonna have to come out in November. It would have.
So if I'm reading this right, guys, help Tommy and I through this, cause he's probably at the same place I am. Tommy, this is in this page,
Okay,
and it's like 3 sheets in.
I'm just looking for one. Oh, right
Can I
here.
have my sheet
It's
back?
right here.
Because I'm not gonna keep my computer open, because I was using it for the spreadsheet, and it's not gonna do me any good. Why would you send it?
Oh, I see what you're looking at, Karen.
But here's.
18,808,
the
703.
annual town meeting
Yeah.
one is using
And where does it
reduced
say,
ones.
It doesn't on this sheet. That's why there were changes made. 18,383, 604, 18,383,
So
604.
this is the annual town
And the
meeting
budget that we got,
That's the number.
well, is this reflecting
that less
eight,
the
that,
Four
is
twenty-five.
that reflecting, Karen, that,
I don't know, I'm gonna have to, I,
So where'd you get that one?
we gotta get that
Annual
sheet
town
from
meeting.
Heather again.
But the annual town meeting, and I think it's
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
It's down the 425,000. It's down to
It can't be.
18,300. It is.
yeah, but it's not at the warrant.
No, the warrant isn't, but the packet that is going to be
That's down the
passed out.
425. So the 425 is pulled out of the whole thing on both
So
of
that's a
them.
problem, and they're not done for that yet.
Yeah, they passed it.
They passed it.
Yeah, that was passed.
Oh, okay,
It
so,
is passed.
That, the 425 is the one that came from the insurance thing.
I get it, so,
But that is.
I'm gonna be
that is-
honest with you, I don't read everything that it gets.
No, I'm not
No, but
saying
that is green, that has been done.
So therefore, it's right now with the 425, they're not gonna bother cutting it.
Yeah, the 100,000, it's the same amount and the cut and the,
Right, but again, we didn't get an updated spreadsheet.
All right, but so,
So can I just ask that, so on these last sheets that we got, where what you're referring to, the 18,0873 with the increase, and then it said, under the cut budget, it was 100,000 out, that's where that comes from. Okay,
It's under the
that's what I thought.
And now it's changed.
No, it was, yeah, what does it show on the latest one, the 425 or whatever?
We don't have an updated
Okay,
spreadsheet.
but
That's
right-
what I'm asking for.
Right now, as
how you
far
do
as we can
analysis.
go by, this Article 7
No way,
is the
it's sideways.
total, if you add all those up, you come up, well, yeah, right there it is, 1808, 703.
So that's gonna have to change because it's not 1808, is it?
No, it's 1883.
383, 18383. So we're gonna have to change that regardless.
No, right, you're right,
Well, they're not changing it, right?
by the 400 and something, but that.
Right, but we're gonna have to change what this article says anyway.
You think they're gonna change those numbers by amendment
Well, we have
on the
to.
floor?
We have to. Because the budget is 18,383 and this says 18,808.
Well, okay.
But
so
they had to
on
do
Ar-
that, I'm sorry,
When Article 7
Yeah, they
comes
had to
up
do
on the
this,
floor,
They
the
took
way
the
I understood
425
it,
out of it.
I
from
get
what
it.
she said,
What?
I mean, this,
Yeah, I
they
get
can
it.
make this motion, whoever's making the motion can make the motion with whatever number they wanna put in there.
Right. However,
So, that'll be, they don't have to make an amendment to change it, they're just gonna make the motion, I would assume,
but we
with that
should,
number minus the four, whatever.
I
but
see what you're saying.
Tamika,
And then people are gonna get all kinds of.
Tamika,
confused.
That's true.
Yes.
the annual town meeting packet that you sent us has got the incorrect number for the Wachusett School District assessment.
They had to put that
You
number
had to
in.
put that in.
They had to put the number in before it was
However,
approved.
this is the handout. This can change and should be changed so that the town has the right numbers to know what they're voting on.
Can you clarify where you're talking about? Are you talking about the number in the warrant article or on the budget sheet that Heather did the A and
On
B
the
budget?
warrant article, it totals 18,808,703.
And the,
And in the front page, it says 18,383,604.
yeah, so the warrant article
Okay.
should reflect the warrant, right? And the budget should reflect the budget. So I understand what she did, but
But
Did
the
that-
warrant doesn't have numbers in it.
the warrant doesn't have numbers in it?
It does.
No,
does.
the warrant does have numbers and it can't change because it was posted today. So whatever changes will have to change in the motion.
Right. So
That's
it's
what
gonna
I
be
just
exactly what you
said.
said.
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying, Karen, but they had to post those numbers because of the time frame.
But then how did this get changed and this not get changed?
Because you can change that one in your left hand, whatever she wants to.
Cause it's just the
It was
information
because
packet.
actually it was after they had to submit the warrant.
Okay, so then we should put something here that says, here's the numbers that are in the budget now due to the health insurance changing. It should be clear here because otherwise, what's gonna happen on the floor, which happens every year when we affect a number of the school?
Oh, absolutely.
So we might as well put another thing over here saying, due to the change in the
Just
health
like you
insurance,
just
here's
said,
the cut.
Exactly.
Okay, so, let's get back, let's do, now, Darren's point. Where I'm going with this whole thing is, even though it's changed, how do we change that? Because they're fully funding the Wachusett budget if the override doesn't pass.
So,
Or do we have to make a separate motion ourselves?
Tommy?
okay, so if we go back to, I just want to bring this up in this April 2nd minutes, Carol's statement that she made about, she attended that regional schools meeting, and they advised the town paying the annual assessment is sending a message to the state that we can afford to pay it. And we're trying to get to the state people to say we can't afford this stuff anymore. But anyway, I'm just saying, that's the background there. So what I'm saying also, and I agree with what you said, this number, I would assume that somebody is gonna get up and make this Wachusett budget article,
Article
the-
7.
Article 7, which is the 1808,703 minus the 425 or whatever was supposed to be coming back. I don't know what's in that number.
Which comes
whatever
out
it
to
is.
this number,
Which is what you said it was.
18,383,604.
I would assume they're gonna make that as the motion. So if we wanna change that, or we wanna recommend again, if we wanna recommend unfavorable action on Article 7, and then we wanna make an amendment to the discretionary assessment to make it match the original cut because everybody else is taking the cut, it was the $100,000, right? Karen,
It's
was
not
that?
to match the cut, it's just to symbolically state, like, it's not okay for us to cut
Everything.
into the flesh.
But if those are the numbers that were being used, then we should make that number.
Cutting limbs
that
off,
less.
not just into the flesh, we're cutting
Yeah,
limbs
I
off.
mean, like.
So your flesh wounds.
Flush it, that's full gun. So that, I guess where I'm going with it, and there's a couple different debates here. Personally, I understand what Ludwig's saying about we're punishing Wachusett and not punishing,
No, I don't
I,
disagree with that.
but I'm,
Yeah, listen, I think the 100 is the right thing to do. It's the right message. It doesn't really amount to much.
no.
Compared to that budget is, but I'm just saying that follows in with everything else the town is doing with the other side.
Like I said, it's mostly symbolic, and and I understand the message.
And the message would be that, because I'm gonna have to explain it. But I'm gonna
Correct.
get up in front of everybody and explain what we're doing. And I'm gonna explain about the X amount of people we're losing from the town, and we're doing this, and the town is suffering, and the school, how, maybe they didn't get the total increase they got, but there was no cuts to their budget. So,
Or less cuts.
less cuts, there was some.
Just say less cuts. It's just easier to say less cuts, because if you say no cuts, they're gonna get up and argue, so just say
Alright,
less
so
cuts.
So, I would like to argue this point, and then I would like to make the motion $100,000 less. And to come out of the discretionary account. I think you have to say that, all of it,
Yes.
and I don't know how we word it, but I'll get there. And then we'll explain what we're doing and why we're doing it, and I think we would have support in the town. And then what my argument would be to everybody in the room, that the hisses and the boos that are gonna get up, would be that we would, if the override fails, we would go back in the fall town meeting and get $100,000 of free cash that we took out of it.
If it didn't fail with another town.
If it didn't fail with of the two towns. And that's all I'm trying to do, guys. Save face with our town employees that we're losing.
Only reason I think that's gonna be difficult is because the motion is made based upon an override. We're going to have to put a TA recommended column on this sheet to show people what we wanna do.
Wait a minute.
Not TA, FinCom, sorry, FinCom.
Where is it made with the recommendation of 2.5 override?
No, there is no, what our amendment to the motion would be,
I understand that, yep.
but I
Wait a
actually,
minute, can I ask that question first? Where does it say that the Wachusett budget is subject to a 2.5 override?
It doesn't,
It
but
doesn't, it's correct.
I understand that, but when you look at all of this, I don't think. I'd have to read through it. I haven't read this in over a week.
so if I,
This sheet doesn't make, this is just numbers, this doesn't have, the motion is what governs what happens at the town meeting.
right, so you could make a motion for the full budget, right? And somebody will second the motion, is there any discussion? And then you'd say like, I wanna amend that motion.
Well, we would make our recommendation.
And what I wanna make sure, rather than saying like, I wanna make a contingent on the override, which is very difficult to word correctly and have the legal people, just make a motion to reduce it by $100,000, because here's what's gonna happen. If the rest of the towns approve the budget, we're stuck with the original number anyway.
Correct?
And if they don't approve the budget, then we have the number we want anyway. You know what
Oh,
I'm
that's a
saying?
different way of
So
looking at it,
makes
it's not.
It makes it very simple, right? Like,
I
we're
agree
gonna
with-
fund it fully if the override passes, because the other towns will have passed their budgets also, right? So that's a done deal. And then the only thing the only time our $100,000 will carry is if the other budgets fail, which is also gonna be good for us if we don't have a passing.
Karen, does that sound right to what he's saying?
Okay, it does in some respects, but Article 3, which is the town will vote to set the salaries or compensation of elected town officials, it does not say anything about contingent on 2.5 override, where we know that if the 2.5 override fails, we're not paying stipends.
But
Yeah,
we had a
Article
discussion
4 says
about that. We had a discussion about that if it doesn't pass, that that town clerk is still getting cut, and those are getting cut.
That is correct. So that's the thing. So I'm kind of murky where it has to say 2.5 override here,
you're
but it
talking about-
doesn't say 2.5
Are you
override on
talking
all of these.
Article 3 to Article 4?
Article 3.
Article 3, she explained that to us. This is just setting those numbers. It's got nothing to do with
Oh, that is right,
appropriating
that's
the
right.
funds.
You're right.
It's
So,
setting the
we got
numbers.
4.
Article 4 appropriates the funds, and it does say in there, subject to the 2.5 override.
So
You are correct.
I don't know, the only thing I don't like is that this front page is not gonna show our numbers. And I think it's easier, I don't know, we kinda would, I think we need to have a FinCom recommendation somewhere to hand out.
And then an explanation of why we did it.
I'm not sure if I'm muckying the waters, but what if,
Right about now, they're pretty mucky. The water's fine. We gotta have this discussion.
imagine being, what you said, and Rutland cuts $100,000 and Paxton, and everybody cuts it a little bit, and they, you know what, we're gonna take it. Cause now you've passed it, right?
But if it all,
And they all say, cause they'd rather get that little bit, they've still got a significant increase and only.
They can't,
Can they not?
They can,
No.
and honestly, it's very symbolic, because in order for any of that to actually carry, they'd have to go back to school committee, get an approval for a reduced budget. And then it would come back and it would hopefully be less than what we appropriated.
And that's what we're
And
hoping
then-
for.
No, no,
But
no.
I'm just
That's
saying,
the way
it's a
the-
rigmarole, they're not
that's what
gonna
the law
just say,
says.
well, we'll take 50,000 less
Right.
from Sterling and 100,000 less from Rutland, that's not, they're not gonna be okay
If
with that,
two
right?
towns
Like, it's
fail
not-
it, then that's it. The budget has not been accepted, and it goes back to the school committee to be looked at. And then we have to go from there.
So the going through all the rigmarole to lower it, we're hoping that the town will say, yes, we will pay $100,000 less.
And someone else supports us, another town supports.
And meanwhile,
town fails
they
it.
don't realize they failed it? I mean, I don't know, are we hoping they don't realize
Well,
it?
not hoping
I
that
mean-
another town fails it.
No,
We're
that we-
just-
that we
We
failed it.
want the override to pass, and we want the full school budget, right? That is the best scenario.
And this
But
way is how you
If-
tie it.
If it doesn't, we want to make sure that there's a message that, like, everybody, you know?
And are we doing this
and-
because, I'm sorry, I think, but are we doing this because the budget, I mean, it's not being tied to the override? So we're having to go
I
through
think
all
this
this
is the only way
rigmarole?
I can do it.
Right,
Or the only way, Darren thought of the group here, not
Correct.
Darren, the only way we
Correct.
can do this is it's not tied.
But
And
if
they
we
didn't
had-
wanna do that.
if they had tied it, we wouldn't
But
be
there
going through
is,
this
there's,
exercise.
we're gonna hear that.
Correct.
We're gonna hear that Holden tied it directly to the override and in their warrant, and
Yep.
now it's found that maybe
Okay.
we could have too. So,
Okay,
but weren't we told that if they tied the school budget to the override, instead of 3 questions, it was gonna be 6
There
questions?
may be
And
some,
that was
there
too
may be some new
confusing.
information.
That was the rationale.
There may be some new information that says that is not. We're getting a ruling because Holden did it the way we wanted to, and it went through.
With 3 questions, or how?
Boy, that's great money we're spending with KP.
Wow, there's some, then we're gonna figure it out, but I'm just giving you a heads up, there's some,
If one town can do it, all towns can do it.
well,
It's a little late now, it's all printed.
Some overrides in the past, that's one question, it's tied to everything.
correct.
Correct. Because I distinctly remember this not too many years ago, we passed that override and then the school number came and I forgot what happened, that whole override went to the school and we didn't
Correct.
do the other things we were gonna do.
They didn't, that,
No, the first year that we passed it went to municipal government. The following year, the
the
school had to
executive decision makers in the town decided not to
tie it.
tie it together.
so this is our
And we have had,
And they were given, I think we're gonna find that maybe the information they were given was not exactly true. And they may not have done it anyways, but Holden tied it and they said we couldn't do it. That's not necessarily true. Now, whether the selectmen would have tied it in their votes anyways, because they didn't wanna do that. We were, I had the distinct impression when I was arguing with everybody at those meetings, that they didn't wanna do that, they
Right.
wanted it,
That's what they said.
yes, so.
Okay.
We gotta, so we breached the subject, I need help to craft from something from the finance committee, and Karen's right, we should probably have a column that says finance committee recommendations
Or
and
we
then
just, or we just put, cause if that's the only change.
Or
if
we do
that's-
it and pass it
If
out.
that's the only change we're gonna make, then we just do a page that says, here's what we're recommending and here's why.
Yes. And I think that may be the better way to do it, and it's on the table and everybody can have it in that pile. But I think that, and I hope everybody in the room agrees, that that's the best way for our town employees. That we're not, we send the message that we're with you, we're trying to do what we can, and hopefully the other towns understand that. And
We're not just, we're with them, but we're with the whole town. We want to be fair to everybody in town.
So what, one of the problems with doing the 100,000 less, not contingent on override, is that regardless of, I think that will count as a defeat of the school budget.
Yeah, well, if it gets voted, yes.
Let's say we wave a magic wand and it is the school budget with the passage of the override, or $100,000 less without the passage of the override. Will that simply result in essentially, okay, Rutland is a no on the school budget?
Correct,
I think that's the answer, right?
correct.
So why don't we short circuit all of that, right? The override. There is no school budget. We don't approve the budget. You have a special town meeting after the override vote, and then we can vote the budget.
no, that's why we're here.
We can, but the argument or the statement is gonna be that if we have another town meeting, that costs us money to put on the town meeting. No, I just say, but
Yeah.
it's gotta be found that there's gotta be some money to do that.
We seem to
There's
spend
money. There's money.
We did a second special town meeting, last year before, we had
For the
one
bylaws.
town meeting, then boom, ROA, we had another one. It can be done, I'm just saying, that's.
And I don't know what that,
Citizens petition.
Tamika, do you know how
Oh,
much
that's
a
right.
special town meeting would cost the town?
$6,000.
$6,000.
Why does that number stick out in our head?
Yeah, the average is usually 5,000 when all is said and done.
Yeah, okay, I remember that number.
Alright, so
6 is our safety line.
Yep.
I guess that's what I wanted to bring to the group, and I think we're all in favor of doing something. We've got a few meetings to go to craft what we think and to do what I'm, to be perfectly honest with you, I think we hand out a sheet that says what the finance committee recommendations are and why we're doing it, and that's it, boom.
Well, we should, because that's part of the bylaw.
No, but then and that would support our motion, that
Correct,
would be
no,
different.
I'm just saying, the bylaw says we're supposed to present that to the town meeting, and we could do that with the sheet. If, I don't know who's not gonna like it, but I don't know.
Well,
It just-
Oh, and I was originally advocating that one of us stands up there and gives a presentation on all the articles and why we voted favorable or not favorable.
Well,
I
that's
still
where
think
we're-
that is the right thing to do.
And
There's some that you don't have to say too much on, but I agree with
Sure,
you. There's a
right.
whole bunch of them that
Yeah.
we should say something about.
And that ties back to this discussion, is we passed on some of the things and we've gotten some answers on some of them. And we gotta talk about our recommendations, that there were several articles that we decided not to
We
do
didn't,
anything on,
we didn't vote on.
correct? So,
Well, some just failed.
But I agree.
some
with you.
failed, and then we did both.
Some
We've been
failed.
vocal enough at a
Some
lot of the
failed.
meetings. But
So-
again, you go back several town meetings, you go back a number of years, the articles are just there, and you bump, and new people wanna go
I mean,
home.
it's,
They don't,
but now I feel like there's a lot of attention. You look at
That's
some of the Facebook things that people are writing, it's like, why don't you, some of you loudmouths, join us at the table, you know, or not at the table, but around the, you know, around the room and listen
So
to.
Article 7, which
Doug's
was
all
what
quiet
top-
over there.
Well, he's not, he's taking it all in. Article 7 is what we said, and we voted not
It
to
failed.
vote favorable, 3-2.
It failed, so
It
therefore.
failed, it failed, for better words, it failed.
Yeah, it failed.
So then there was that, and that's directly against this. And then Article 17, we voted against it till we got the clarification. I think we got clarification, yes, sir.
Did we?
This handout doesn't say that we voted for or against the school budget.
That is correct, because the motion was made for favorable recommendation, and it failed, so therefore there was no recommendation because it failed.
Nobody made a motion to recommend unfavorable.
Right.
Because we have up until the town meeting to,
Because we said, at the meeting, we said we wanted to discuss
Did
it
you get the
tonight.
answers on 17?
17?
Because that was, we were concerned about the carpet.
17, we didn't make a
Right,
recommendation
but we were concerned about 17
because of,
because, you know, the carpet versus the high maintenance areas, maybe we go to a,
Or didn't we talk about that,
And then the sand
it says
truck thing.
carpet replacement, it doesn't say what type, how we're replacing the carpet, just that some of it needs to be
it
replaced.
says replace original carpeting from 2000 with 3000, the carpet is, so it doesn't say that it's gonna change to something else. So we kind of wanted to know what they thought, and is it cheaper, or is it the same? We didn't really know.
no one, no,
Or should
that
they
didn't
fix the
give an
wall
answer, but
before
the
they
other
do
thing was
this
the
room?
two
Yeah.
Sanders there. Remember the two Sanders, the CIPC?
Yep,
That, and they have a different explanation than we were given the first time.
yep.
No, that's the line above it? Is that what you're talking
That's
about, the
right.
two salt
13
sands?
to
Yeah.
18.
Okay, so the only thing we asked there, and what Heather was gonna do, was split that into two lines. Because what she ended up doing there, that these are different things, and they added up to the number.
And she did separate it.
Okay, so it should be separate, that's the only
It is.
thing was there. But the carpet replacement thing, I mean, we should either ask the library people, or whoever, the board of trustees, whoever, to come in and explain the nuts and bolts of that 57,000, because we don't have any specific information on it. Or, if we don't do that, then we're leaving it up to their judgment to do it. We should leave it in there and just do it.
We could have CIPC come in and explain to us what they voted on,
We have that, okay, yeah, we could, yep.
because they should, I mean,
Well, didn't they tell us, because we
Some-
asked about the wall?
yeah,
and
sometimes they
said-
come, sometimes they don't. you know.
They said they didn't vote on the wall, the damage to the wall, because the library trustees didn't give them any information other than it was
Correct.
bad.
So I guess we should probably bring in both and say, okay, guys, what was your plan?
We can, but we do have that report from CIPC, because I have.
Yeah, but it doesn't
right-
give you all the background and everything as to what they saw and what they,
No, but it's their recommendation of
Right,
what
it's
they
the-
voted on, and,
right. All I'm saying is
No, but-
did they look at it to be, you know,
okay.
that engineered wood down here versus rug and,
Well, didn't Harry say they hadn't discussed that, but that wasn't a bad idea? That was a long meeting.
Yeah, it was kind of a,
well, he's not on the CIPC anymore.
but to,
Right?
to Karen's point is, if that's what we want information on, we should ask them to come in and speak to us, so we know before the town meeting.
We could talk, let's just continue through here for a second. 18, we voted motion to table.
Let's see,
That is,
oh, there it is.
Financing, that was because of the pool.
and
But we got that in an email, didn't we?
yes, the pool has, yeah, that has changed.
Well, no, it's still in here, but I'm trying to go back to what she said in an email. Didn't Karina say, no, they couldn't afford that,
They couldn't afford the,
the financing?
correct. So it's gonna be pushed off to. And
Is it
then,
gonna, I don't remember reading that part.
Wait a minute, but
wait a
this
minute,
is
wait a
the
minute.
warrant, so
What do you mean by
Can't
pushed
change it.
off?
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
I thought they were, what does her email say from Karina? I'm sorry, maybe I spoke out of
Did
turn.
that come through this week?
Yes,
The only thing on this one I remember was the hundred and seventy-five, and I did
Yeah.
that. And where did it say here? Research, under the explanation, it says surface tool, right, it says recreation, $175,000. And I don't see it. It says recreation revolving account, is what I see. But
10.
there was a document we had several weeks ago, or a month or something ago, that said they were gonna use what, $75,000 of their money and then $100,000 raise and appropriate? Isn't that what they were asking for?
Yep.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about this was, I don't think that the raise and appropriate should be there. I think
It's borrow.
It's
We should-
borrow.
It's borrow. And it does clearly state, the reason why we did is we wanted them to require recreation to pay it back, both principal and interest.
we talked about that, correct?
It does say the recreation revolving account will fund the repayment of this loan for the duration of the borrowing.
But then we got
We're
it,
authorizing the town to go into debt, right? And I think
Right.
that is, actually not such a bad thing.
no, you need some,
No,
they
you
need
need some,
debt.
you need debt.
I'm not saying the debt's bad, I'm saying I don't think the money should come out of the,
No, but I don't think
Taxpayers
you're
should
saying
come out
how
of
you're
it.
funding it, you're just saying it's okay to take on the debt, right?
I think it's gonna come out of the taxpayers, but be repaid by recreation.
Yeah,
over
but we
the-
got an email about that, where does
We
it?
gotta make sure that indeed it's not just stated here, but there's an actual agreement that states, signed, that the recreation will be able to afford
Is
it.
that what you're going
My
down?
point is,
We don't get any benefit of that pool.
my point is, this is allowing the town to go into debt for these items. It doesn't actually say how these items are gonna be paid for in the end.
but it has to be when you do that.
Well, I'm sure they have a plan for it, but that's not the article,
It
right?
should be in the motion when it's made, so we know where the money's coming from or going to.
I don't think you,
Yeah, you do.
I think if I can say, I think the point is that you'd agree to go into debt to buy something if we knew that if in this case, we knew that it was going to be paid by, we'll take it on for you, but somebody else is gonna pay for it, whereas if somebody else is gonna pay for it, you
Karen
might
asked
say no.
then, and she was asking now for a specific agreement.
That's what I,
And they were supposed to have
exactly said,
talked about
right.
it at this last select board meeting,
Yep.
according to the email.
Yep.
So we haven't heard anything.
Lynn, where's the memo that?
I'm looking, I can't find it. When
was
did it come through?
The 10th.
Because
the
that's
town?
the concern I have is, we as a town are gonna take on that debt, which is fine, but we get no benefit of that pool.
no, it's fine, I understand
So
what
we
you're
wanna make
saying, it
sure that
needs to, but I think those are two different things,
April
right?
10th at 10 o'clock, I know we
the-
have it.
Taking on, allowing us to take on the debt, and then, like, it's separate,
But does
it's
that
gotta
say
be a
that
separate
Karina-
allocation from,
What's the
or-
date?
Karina's-
It's the,
anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I know what you're talking about. 'cause
I think if
there's
we
a-
want the town to take it on, and we're not gonna see, like, we don't get, the town general fund doesn't get any benefit of that pool.
Karina said she.
No,
would
I
pay.
understand
So,
that.
my
Yeah.
only thing is that if we're gonna put this on, saying, yes, the town wants to take this on, we should have it all buttoned up, who, what, where, when, and how.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I
with
don't think
boards,
that's an article, that's an agreement between
Yeah, but I-
town administrator and
I
RAC
get it,
and
but
so
I
forth.
think at the time of the town meeting, if we had that, it's going to help sell it. Because
Annual town meeting
otherwise-
draft warrant
Sure, so it should be
and
like in the
Washington
explanation.
Regional
It is in the
District
explanation, but we should
revised
have
budget
something
review.
tangible.
Draft one.
Before we recommend it, in my opinion, and before we vote favorable or unfavorable, we should know that there's something there.
So, reading from, because we did get a follow, I erred in saying that we didn't have a follow-up. Heather said she updated the board to a conversation she had with the recreation director, who indicated that she would not be comfortable moving forward the article, or moving the article forward if the recreation revolving fund were required to cover the full debt repayment for the project. So it appears that recreation doesn't want to pay for it. She wants it to come from the town.
So raise the rates.
Well, that wasn't our conversation, apparently.
Okay, alright, so,
So
I-
that's what I said about I didn't think they wanna move it forward.
Well, yeah, but we need to make sure that we have that clearly stated.
so the motion on the floor will be for 400,000, not for,
575.
575.
Hopefully.
No,
Right. And then if it is 400, then we would recommend favorable.
correct.
If it's 575, we would not.
Carol, did you just say, she said, what,
Recreation is not interested in moving the article forward if
Oh.
they're going to be on the hook for the payments.
well, that would, my opinion, that would be our recommendation to the town meeting and tell people why. I mean, I'm not 100% agreeing with Karen, because the town gets an overall benefit from having recreational facilities, but all these years we've been doing this, recreation has paid all their own
And
expenses.
that's not true.
Well,
Recently, maybe?
They didn't pay for the sewer line.
They didn't pay for the sewer line. They haven't paid for the broken pool cover. There were a lot of things that the town did fund for them. So
well, if
so that's the thing.
okay.
There has been things that we have done for them. I'm not saying that that was wrong. I'm just saying it's not.
I understand, those are some things to fix, that, yeah, because of those other buildings, but I'm talking about, okay.
Yeah. So,
I agree with what you, I understand, I remember those.
yep.
Doesn't sound like the motion will include the pool, though.
Oh,
Well,
right,
We
here it
can't
is, I
do
just,
So,
favorable,
I
unfavorable
guess,
without.
but the only thing is doesn't this handout have to change to reflect what
Well,
we're
I think
doing?
it has to
But
change.
that's the warrant, isn't it?
No, this is the handout. They're
That's
gonna
the
give it this at the town meeting.
Well, Karen, how about if we, in our little piece of paper that we're gonna put out, we said the articles that we talked about, the ones that we had no motion on, that say nothing.
Yeah, but I think if we're only gonna make the change to the one, we make it just about that one and that's it, unless there's other things that we wanna make recommendations to change.
Do we wanna explain?
I would just ask, we need to get clear cut answers from the town administrator via, the select board goes to the town administrator and town administrator comes to us and says, we will be removing that on the town floor because that isn't moving forward.
Can we read the whole, I'm getting pinged here, can we read the whole email that we saw? Carol or somebody that was shared to us?
Read it, you want me to read it?
Yeah, yes, please.
Oh.
From Heather,
Is that okay to, I mean, I guess I alluded to it, but I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, read the whole thing, please,
Go ahead.
or somebody.
hello, everyone. Attached is the warrant that the select board signed last night. The warrant document reflects the edits made during the joint meeting held on Thursday, April 9th. I provided both chairs with an itemized list of those edits, and they confirmed the list was accurate. For the Finance Committee's awareness, at last night's select board meeting, a further edit was requested to Article 18, the capital borrowing article, as it relates to the pool resurfacing project. I updated the board on my conversation with the recreation director, who indicated she would not be comfortable moving the article forward if the recreation revolving fund were required to cover the full debt repayment for the project. I explained to the select board that the revolving account generates an unreliable surplus from year to year, and that it would be difficult to tie recreation to a fixed debt repayment schedule that it may not be able to support, even with increased fees. Over the past 10 years, year-end E&D has ranged from approximately $5,600 to $41,000, with a significant variation year to year. I also noted that revenue generated from the town's investment of recreation revolving funds has supplemented the general fund by approximately $8,800 to $9,000 annually. Following discussion, the select board suggested that town meeting should determine whether the project should proceed and requested that I work with the recreation director and the treasurer to develop a repayment schedule that works for both the town and the recreation and takes investment interest into account. They also asked that I revise the explanation in the warrant document accordingly. The edit is included in the itemized list below.
Okay. It's a little clearer. I see
So
an eyebrow
who was
raised
the
over there.
last Senate, next to the last, who said that it should go forward still?
The select board
So-
wants it to go forward and let the town decide.
Let town meeting decide.
So from her statement, we invest the 53.5 funds and take that investment, where I thought 53.5 could only be in 53.5.
Do they have a separate bank account?
It's a separate account, and there's specific rules on what we can do with it. But from that, isn't that what I heard?
The
Or-
interest-bearing account is getting, in that high interest for
Yeah, I think we,
something that ranges around $41,000, she
$8,800
said?
to $9,000 annually?
That's a
That's a lot of
interest.
interest.
All right, let's get some
Can we find out
clarification.
that bank? I wanna put my money over
Yeah.
there.
I know.
exactly.
Because I think,
Let's get some clarification on that.
Yeah, because that
Yeah,
one's
we got
clear as mud.
All right,
well, I think that part, is that separate from what we're being asked to do, though? That's something that we want to know, but I don't think it has direct bearing on
so,
favorable or
I,
unfavorable.
as I stated in the beginning of this whole night, there's a bunch of different little things and we're finding them all out now, right?
Yep,
But their direction, their explanation still says the recreation revolving fund will fund the repayment of this loan for the duration of the borrowing. And from that email, that is not the case.
Not at this point.
yeah, on this the warrant article,
The handout that they're
Yeah.
gonna give at the town
And the
meeting.
well,
revision,
I'm looking
Yeah.
at that.
So,
Email. So what
Tamika,
does
is the
that say?
handout etched in stone already, or is that still something in flux?
So the only thing that is etched in stone in there is the warrant. That is the final posted warrant that cannot be changed.
The
So any changes
explanations,
moving, correct, they cannot be changed.
the
the
explanations can be though.
No, they cannot, not on the warrant itself. The warrant, as it's printed and posted, is the final document. The only things that can be changed are the other documents, such as the fund balances, the supporting documentation, essentially.
Once they sign this, that's it, that's the document,
Okay,
that's posted.
all right, so moving
Can
right
the
along,
favorable, unfavorable
Because they just took.
we're gonna have
be
to save.
changed?
We can,
No, Ted, so we discussed at the last meeting that anything that the finance committee was not comfortable making a recommendation on would not be included on the printed warrant. It would have to wait until the evening of town meeting for you to share it.
and I think that should be on our sheet that we're gonna pass out.
And at any time, if we decide to go back on, Article 4 and say, no, we can change that.
We can
We
change
can
anything.
change that right up to right before. There's nothing that says that we can't go back and change Article 4 and say.
We
no,
would have to
vote
give an
no.
explanation, but that's okay.
Exactly, but there's nothing that says we can't make that
Correct.
But
change.
it's
So we could do-
on the floor, not changed in here.
That is correct.
correct. So we could do a sheet of paper that lists each article down and how we're voting
And why,
and why.
And why?
So that's what we should. In number 21, we voted 21, and we voted not to, voted down no action.
In here, the explanation that in the emails, that was Article 21. It says deleted original RDIC article, RDIC was notified. Oh,
After,
that was the original.
RDIC was notified after the article was placed.
So, I think didn't they say that was gonna be not on the warrant? I mean, it's on the warrant, but it's gonna be
No action.
no action.
But the selectmen on this have said favorable, so that's,
Right. The
Okay.
11,975, they got rid of the 25, that's not posted. They posted the 11,975. And that number was notified to the RDIC after it was placed.
okay.
So,
Wait a minute.
wait a minute, because remember Article 21A and Article 21B? The original article was 21A. Is that what they're referring to?
No,
Must be the,
Article 21 alternative is what they placed,
Right.
which is the 11,975.35.
Right, so this is not gonna be a no action.
No. It is not, and I think the reason why
Oh.
it was a vote of 2 to 3 to not vote favorably, or not to pass that motion, vote favorably, whatever you, to turn it down,
We didn't
whatever
know
you
what
want.
one we were gonna do.
Because what's the difference between this 11,975 and the 35,000 that in all.
Council of Aging.
They're taken from the Council on Aging.
Okay,
Well, our original objection was that it seemed awfully arbitrary.
Right.
And I don't think that's changed, right?
Yeah.
No, and I think the other thing is, and you were probably the first person I heard say it, is that some of the monies that they wanna use for this is to clear space, to make it pretty, and to market. And that's for a broker to do.
They
I
can
don't-
look, they can look,
And I think, that's what
Beyond
was on the
that.
table, I don't
Yep.
know if that's, was reasoning
It's
behind
not gonna
things,
make
but,
sense.
no.
okay,
so are we gonna be favorable or unfavorable?
well, now we,
I mean, I guess we're
we're
wondering,
having
going back and
discussion
doing
on
this.
it.
We're
I think what we
discussing
can,
things,
we're discussing, we can, at the next meeting, we can bring it up, or we can say it tonight.
So Article 20, we're talking about Article 21 now.
Correct.
All right, so it's all it is, they're asking to take that money that was in a 35,000 appropriation authorized the initial design of all industrial commission, engineering, site studies, and legal work. So they wanna take the balance and just use that to do some other things, so they're gonna keep a special article, but just, it's gonna have a different purpose to it.
It's gonna have a different value because it was.
Well,
an
no,
A
it's
and
gonna
a
be
B.
that low, that's the balance they already have.
Right,
So,
So I think that, I know why I voted not to vote for the favorable recommendation was because it's no different than the $35,000 that had to be closed and put into capital stabilization. If we're gonna do that, the 11,975 should be closed and put into capital stabilization and then handled in a different way
oh, I
at some
see
point.
what you're saying.
Because,
And that's,
I mean, and this is actually older than,
it's a year older, right?
it's a year older, I believe, than the community center one that was the biggest
And
conversation.
11,000, almost $12,000 is not gonna make or break a sale. It's gonna do nothing. They haven't done much with the money they've had, so
Right.
turn that back into the town when we're going
Right.
for each,
If
every
you have
penny
a
we need.
specific purpose, if somebody says like, I really don't know, I need to have a pathway bushwhacked so I can see what I'm buying, then come to us and we'll do it, but like, this seems very arbitrary.
Well, it is, but it's, the way I'm reading this, they kinda know what they wanna do. Where these other ones in the article before that are put into the fund, but they don't have anything assigned to them yet. You know, the money will be waiting there for somebody to come and ask for something.
But RDIC's had that money since 2018, and they haven't done anything with it. So turn it back to the town and we need it.
Okay, if that's, okay. if that's
I
the
mean,
way you feel.
it's really no different. I mean, the Council on Aging Director was here and explained to us why she hasn't been able to spend the 35,000 on their feasibility study and explained due to COVID and all of that. But yet, 11,000 just miraculously gets moved. I'm like, it should go the same way. It's really no different.
Consistent, we have to be
Closing them, we're
consistent.
Closing them.
Right.
so what do we wanna do on, anybody have a recommendation on Article 21 if we?
I can make a motion to recommend unfavorable on Article 21.
Second.
We have a motion to recommend, the Finance Committee recommendation to be unfavorable action on Article 21. And we're gonna have to explain that, cause someone's gonna ask us why. Do we have any more discussion? All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So unanimous. Unfavorable, unanimous.
Do we have to offer an alternate, because will that money still just be sitting there? Do we have to say something about we want it turned over to capital stabilization?
That would have to be an amendment on the floor. So if we want to do that, we'd have to,
Based on this, but our explanation is gonna be that this money should be done the same way this other article is done. That's basically our explanation.
right. But if we truly want it to happen, we would have to make an amendment on the floor to state, not only do we vote unfavorable, we'd like to move the 11,975.35 to capital stabilization.
Right. I think we should make
But-
that, we should offer that amendment.
But should it go to capital or just to stabilization?
Capital
Everything else
stabilization.
went to capital
No,
stabilization.
these did because these were
Capital
things for
improvements.
capital
Oh,
items. This
okay.
was just an expense.
It was 35,000 that we just gave free cash to. It was all
That's
free
right,
cash.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think the reason why is because it's a good place
Yep.
to park the money. And it's a little bit more,
I know a place
Secure?
where we could put it.
it's a little bit easier to
Well,
use
we
for
just-
what we need.
We're saying different things. That's the only thing I'm getting at.
So we voted unfavorable, it was a unanimous decision, we have to think about this and come back
Yep.
and
And that
decide
could be
how we
another
want.
one on our piece of paper.
Correct,
Yeah.
all right,
Okay, so
So
we wanna do an amendment to Article 21 that would move that money to where.
possibly if we all decide, yes.
Yeah, if we decided, but that's what would be the common sense thing to do,
Yeah.
so. Okay,
one of the places that we could put it is the reserve fund.
I think should go, if that's where it came out of, it should go back in there, not necessarily the capital stabilization.
It came out of free cash back in 2018. And,
But if it goes back into the, if we
Well, put
recommend
it
that
back
it go
into
back
free
to the
cash then.
reserve fund.
But if we-
it's Not
see-
that much time
No,
before.
I don't
it's
disagree with you, I understand what you're
It
gonna
would-
say,
would
but.
go on for
If
FY
we put it to the
27,
reserve
right?
fund,
then it flows through to free cash and it's gonna get, and it's all go missing.
our
Oh, I see what you're
Stays there
saying.
until.
If you put it in
We can
capital
put it aside and make
stabilization,
it
it's a
less.
great place for what we know we need.
okay,
All right, we'll
could.
think about it.
Free cash tends to be gobbled up for, you know,
Budgets,
Stupid things?
well,
No.
it gets gobbled up. It's a land grab,
$800,000 to the budget, it gets gobbled that way.
So-
all right.
Just a little concerned that we wanna put it there for a better use.
All right, and on Article 23, we voted no action. The selectmen voted favorable, we voted no action,
On what one
which
was that,
one?
Darren?
23,
It's a floodplain.
3.
yeah, we have no dogs in that fight, I think that's why we said no action.
No, I don't know that we voted no action.
You know, I don't
think-
remember that.
I don't think we voted no action. I think we took no action because we didn't have the bylaw.
Article 23, I got written down 5 favorable.
Oh, you know what?
For no action,
I
No.
don't remember voting no
No,
action on
it-
anything.
My notes say favorable on Article
Yeah,
23.
mine-
You
mine
said
does too.
favorable.
Yep,
That's this one here,
floodplain.
floodplain overlay, or
So
whatever.
Well, we should
that's
be
an
able to go
error
back
in
to the video,
the
right?
document then.
No, we don't need
Well,
to. It's
Tamika,
got-
you said you were having a hard time understanding what we were saying, right, hearing
Was
what we
it
were
in the
saying.
minutes?
Well,
Yeah, it was hard that night. For some reason, there was a delay.
okay,
yeah, there was.
so. How do we change,
How does that get changed then, since we
can't.
voted favorable?
we can't, we have to change it on the floor because this is already signed and posted.
But it's incorrect. It's incorrect.
So we're still gonna have to change it on the floor.
I see what you, on this one, it says no action.
So we
I
change it
gotcha.
on the floor, but, or we make a note on the
made the
floor
motion to
saying
take
that there
no
was an
action.
error in the
According
minutes?
to the minutes.
Yeah, so we have to change the minutes.
Change the minutes, but this is
But why would we have to change the minutes?
Because the
Because
minutes say we took no action and we didn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We have to change the minutes, because it's wrong.
Alright, we can,
Those are ones we approved tonight, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so we can just make an
and
adjustment
that's
there,
the
that's all
April
right.
ninth,
yep,
that's Article 23,
yep.
Can, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Chairman, I should say,
go for it.
I make a
Where was
motion that we, go back
On
to
our
the
minutes, and then on here,
the minutes of what,
April 9th.
Ninth.
of April 9th and make that correction that we missed.
Alright, so if we read April 9th, it says motion placed by the selectmen, by Alex Moore, seconded by Leah Whitman, vote unanimous. They all voted in, and then we did motion to take no action on Article 23, motion made by Tom Rochelle, seconded by Lynn Winiker, and voted unanimous.
But it was actually a favorable.
Favorable.
It was favorable.
Vote.
Can I just ask, so before I change it, can we just double check the recording just to make sure? Cause
Mhm.
Sure.
I just wanna make sure before I change it that we're right.
No,
so then
no,
if
no,
we
no,
have to
yeah,
amend it,
we can do
you
this
know?
next week.
And that's what I have on mine.
Underneath mine said favorable.
Yeah, it's the same thing I have on mine.
So let's do that, but we have to, we have meetings, plenty of meetings, we can change this. We just gotta keep it on our agenda.
So please don't, who made the motion, to accept the minutes of April 9th?
We can still change the minutes.
We can rescind it.
That's why, you gotta rescind it, because otherwise we've approved them and they could get posted. So
You said to reopen them and just amend it. is
we
what
have
you
to,
said.
yeah, but we have to rescind it if we have to watch them,
Yes,
yes,
agreed.
we have to rescind it.
Who
Made the motion,
who
did I?
made the motion and seconded?
Tommy made the motion and Lynn seconded.
No, tonight,
Tonight, April 9th.
April 9th meeting.
Yep,
Right,
yep, same people, Tommy and Lynn.
yeah, on April 9th.
So I take away I rescind my second to approve the April 9th minutes.
How do we do this?
Tommy has to rescind his motion.
That's fine. Yeah,
You have to say the words.
have to say the word. I got it written down right there, 5 favorable.
But we have already put them into,
But it doesn't, we put the minutes in that are wrong.
It's
Okay.
wrong in the minutes.
So, okay, so we have to undo that motion then for tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have that?
and we all agree?
Tamika, you got that? They rescinded their first and the second?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor of the rescission?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Painful, thank you. I know, she's just doing it, she's just.
I'm like, let's move it along.
Hey, I don't wanna get in front of that bus, cause she's in the mood. And she's already told, no, she said she was, no, she said to be
No,
out
but,
there, I will be if.
but the fact is that
Excellent.
we have to do it right so that they don't accidentally get posted.
Correct.
As approved, yeah.
That's correct.
Didn't you say you were in the mood when you were talking?
I was, when it came right down to
Yes.
the transfer for reserve fund, yes.
Yes, okay,
Not about this.
okay. So in the charter, we didn't do anything because we don't know where that's all going.
We still don't know.
All right. Wow, we slugged through that, guys.
I hate these
We're
things.
gonna,
I love the way that we used to do them, where the warrant articles that were posted never had the amounts, so that way they could change right up. Now we're gonna be doing so much back and forth to explain everything.
Right. But then you had people bitching because they didn't have numbers.
But the thing is, you can post them even the week before,
I agree with
you
you
know, once
100%.
everything's, we knew there were so many things that were in flux.
They never
there is,
had the
in,
numbers before.
there's just as much flux now as there was then.
Yeah,
But what happens is now it's all printed and we
right,
have
it's all
to.
printed, and now we're stuck with it, and now we're gonna be
Sure you catch it
backpedaling.
all.
We try to go overboard with
Yeah.
information, that's what happens.
Do we have any other discussion on the budget?
But that's why the motion says, or take any action in relation.
I get it, but the thing is now what's out there is all these
So we're
amounts.
meeting next week,
Next
I'm
Thursday,
sorry.
next Thursday.
right? And we're gonna ask try to get the library trustees here next week.
Tamika noted that, hopefully, do we wanna have a motion to ask the library trustees,
I
so
make
it's.
a motion that we would request that they be here so we can answer the questions on that one item
The
How about
carpeting.
CIPC?
specifically.
Well, you know, and to add to that, I'm just gonna say out loud that we should have been included in that meeting with CIPC and the select board.
Right.
And it would have come up then,
Correct.
and now we're backpedaling.
Unfortunately, we should be, if you look at everything, we should be an integral part of the CIPC, and we're not.
It's in our bylaw.
Yes, but we're not.
That part of the
All right.
bylaw is not enforced.
So Tommy, that
Is
was,
there a second?
Well, I would like to amend that motion to say library trustees and CIPC.
I'm getting there. Can we do this one?
I was gonna do both in one, when I'm done.
Well, I wasn't.
second,
I
all right,
second
let's,
yours. She's through, buddy.
And who says this isn't
we have
fun?
any more discussion on Tom's motion to invite the library trustees or a representative from the library trustees to our next meeting, next Thursday, which would be the 23rd.
Third.
No more discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect,
I make a
Tom.
motion that we invite the CIPC to come to explain the questions we had on the recommendations.
And we have a good list of questions, guys, cause it's muddy and it's late for me, started early.
If we have questions, do you think the first step might be to just send them a memo, or Darren sends them a note and says like, can you answer these questions, and then based
would
on your
come
answer.
from Tamika.
Or you can rather just come
I
to a
think
meeting, but.
I think this is how we get involved after the fact into the CIPC discussion, because then we can have them here and we can have an open and honest dialogue with them.
And we
Because
might
one
have to-
thing might lead to
Tommy's
another.
motion,
and we don't-
we have a second on Tommy's motion.
Second.
I second. Karen seconded.
Let's go. It's getting late.
Alright. Any more discussion? Tamika, all those in favor?
Aye.
Tamika, do you understand where we're going with that? Could you send those two out?
And who was we had the third
Yes,
question we.
and I will let you know if either of those groups come back and say that they can't make it.
They have the next 2 Thursdays.
Okay.
We have plenty of time.
No, we don't have plenty of time, we have
We
some
have
time.
We have time.
some time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's coming up quick.
It's coming unfortunately very quick. So we have the 23rd, the 30th, and we have the 7th, and then the town meeting is on,
The 9th.
The 9th.
so we have 3. Is there any other reasonable discussion to
review
come
the
before
tape.
the finance committee
Yeah,
this
we have
evening?
another one we wanna
Do we
ask
want to learn more about, I'm sorry, I saw your,
Go ahead, Ted.
about the what?
Do we want to come to next meeting with a draft of what that handout is going to be, particularly in regard to Article 7?
Doesn't hurt, cause that one gives us time to revise it if we need to.
I know what I would like to do. But, and then and it should, in that thing, come up with some other, the recommendations and why we're doing what we're doing on those other articles, correct? That are blank now, in my mind. I will,
You, maybe, and I have a discussion, and I'll type up a draft that we can then collectively look at
next,
Sounds great.
for next
Perfect.
week.
yep,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Tommy, was it Article 18 about the pool? Did we need clarification on whether it's going to,
Well, we need to know what they're doing, right? Cause we don't know which, I don't think there's been a final discussion of, I don't think she's negotiated all the way with.
Well, from her email, it says they're moving it forward
And letting the town decide.
and letting the town decide.
so then we would have to make our recommendation based on letting the town decide.
I think
Well,
we
no,
did
cause
have that
couldn't we,
motion.
the fact that these are in here,
I'd like to see what I'd like to see what the rec committee and, the town administrator has to say before we move anything.
Well, if it goes forward, don't we have to figure out where to cut the money out of somewhere else in the budget to cover it?
No, it's coming from borrowing.
borrowing.
I think the other thing that we need to find out is how are, it states in her email that interest on that money is going to the bottom line. I think we need to figure that out too, so I
We
think
need to have
that's the
some
town
explanation
administrator.
of how that, the
Yeah.
E53 and a half.
That's a lot of
so-
interest.
Yep,
Yeah.
I handle.
Well, if it's going to the town and it's not supposed to, then
Right.
that's a problem.
Could, Tamika, could you,
Yep, I wrote it all down.
okay, so, cause we gotta get clarification about that part from the town administrator.
Yep, I'll share all this information with Heather for follow-up.
If she has any questions, she can call me.
I do have one quick thing, I
No, I'm
know,
only
but
kidding.
it's
I'm only
good-
kidding,
I think
I'm
it's
only
good
kidding,
news.
I'm only
I
kidding,
think
smile.
it's good news.
Go ahead.
So I saw a post from one of the our senator, state senator, that it looks like if everything goes through, Rutland's going to be getting $214,000 for snow and ice
From the
in the
state,
state.
How are they doing that?
Don't
Well,
ask
they're just
questions.
taking it out of this pocket instead of this pocket.
Don't
It's
ask
probably
questions,
chapter
take it
90,
and run.
And say thank you, you have to say
It's an
thank you.
increase. It's a special,
Increase to
Like a
chapter
one
90.
because
time.
it was such a bad
I don't think it
winter
can
for
be.
everybody.
For the snow and ice, I don't think, I'm not sure though, but I don't think it would be.
It was to cover,
I wonder if it's based on the baseline budget of the,
God only knows.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get some clarification on that, that'd be nice.
preliminary estimates have proposed 2026 and it just disappeared.
there it is.
I love Facebook refreshing. Winter relief for municipalities.
Oh, winter, okay.
And where is that posted? Not,
It was under Senator Duran's.
okay. Sorry, I'm a lot skeptical of
Oh, yeah,
crap
yeah.
that gets posted on
He
Facebook.
posted all of his cities and
Okay.
towns.
Great.
That's a good, and I'm sorry for being, but that's good news if we can get some money
So,
from him.
so
That's-
it does apply to the budget, cause we're gonna be at some point talking about.
Oh, we're definitely gonna be talking
So if
about
that
that.
2,000, if that 200,000 comes in, that's $600,000 in free cash that will be needed to balance the budget next year if the override doesn't pass.
Here we go.
So, and the last thing I wanna do is talk about, I think everybody in the room knows where my feelings are, and I think most feelings in the room are the same about what Devereaux, assessment should be and what they actually, donate to the town in lieu of a gift, in lieu of taxes, or just because they're nice people. And I think there's a difference of almost, $200,000 from what could be collected and what they actually give us. Do we,
So, I thought we were gonna, thought we said, or maybe we didn't say it formally, but I thought we were gonna get past town meeting and then have that as a subject for our meeting and or 2 meetings to get clarification on a whole bunch of stuff there.
we can, but where I was going with is just like what you did before, I think we should make a motion that we would like to pursue it, because I think what happens is it gets pushed off and nobody wants to go up there. It's been going on for 20 years, no one's
No,
ever
I-
asked them. So I would like to do maybe not tonight,
I'm,
but I wanna do a formal recommendation that we send the delegation up there to sit with them, a formal delegation, to go up and talk to them about that.
well, okay, yes, I agree 100%, I wanna do that too, but I thought we had said we were gonna do that right after the town meeting stuff got.
That's perfect.
And we also, in part of that discussion has to be who really is responsible to go up there and do that, not necessarily us. I don't know if that's us or we have to ask somebody else to do that. And we
I
just
think it-
make
I
recommendations.
think it's gotta be a subset of your select board, FinCom, and the town administrator, I'm guessing.
Could be, but that'd be part of the discussion to decide what we think we should do.
And then about the only other thing that we have to tread lightly on is they don't have to give us anything.
Correct.
So we
Exactly.
have to tread
So they can
lightly.
take it
That's
away.
where I'm going with this.
We don't
have to-
wanna lose everything.
Well, we have to be delicate about this.
Yes.
But we also have to bear in mind
Yes,
that I think it's a very important subject.
Yeah.
And I think
is.
everybody in this room thinks that. I keep saying I think the finance committee thinks that, so
yes.
let's just keep that in everybody's mind.
Well, plus, wasn't it in one of the meetings, didn't you I thought I saw it, read it in the minutes, that you asked, the school to find out when the,
Yes, we asked them to what the difference was and how that works, and
as a school,
the
because they were a
school, we have
school.
it.
Difference of what?
well, we get $5,000 and it costs $12,000. We get $5,000 if it's school choice from some of the kids up there. And how does that,
No.
what is the number that, we wanted to know what the difference was and what we actually
Okay,
receive. Go ahead.
the way I understood his explanation was the school choice thing, that's something else, it's not talking about them. I mean, the people that would go from Devereaux, the way I understood what he said was all those students or those people under some program somewhere in the state, some social service kind of program or somewhere that, and that's where the money comes from to sponsor them at Wachusett.
Didn't we ask for that if it covers them?
Right, and we asked the question, cause I asked it was, well, where does that show up in your money's coming in?
And he couldn't answer that.
They didn't have an answer, and I definitely want, as part of our discussion is still, I have it written down still, is we need explanation and somebody to show us where those numbers are and where it flows through. I agree with you 100% there, but the school's trust, I don't believe is part of that, anything to do with them.
And you also asked a couple times about, you wanted to see numbers and where numbers flowed through on different
I just put this
accounts
file
receivable.
together.
Didn't we?
But she meaning Michelle sent out
Left
the
us a month ago.
busing thing, and I got it and I printed it out, and it was in,
So this
I
is
think,
not up to
number
date.
2 font or number 1 font or something, and Barbara finally figured out how to blow it up so I could read it, which I did. And I
Called a
have it,
magnifying glass.
I have it here, but anyways, so I have
an app
that,
for
and
that.
and
I have
we
one
can
on
make
my phone.
copies of that
Me
and talk about that, if you want to next time. Where is it? Come on.
Okay.
I just piled all this crap.
Does anyone have,
Well,
go ahead.
So,
Did anybody else look at that email that she sent out?
didn't see
Because
that.
it had total amounts, then it had subtractions for those within the mile and a half. And I thought they said the mile and a half thing wasn't gonna count against the busing, but
See an email.
I just wonder, in keeping with trying to get through town meeting, there's nothing we can do about transportation at this point. And
Correct.
I think collectively, we have a lot of
Yep.
ideas about where we can look for efficiencies and
no, I was
maybe
just,
just
And
questions
we have
answered and.
a lot on our plate between the 3 meetings that we have left.
I was just answering Darren's question.
Yeah.
That She did get back finally with it. Maybe she just sent it to me.
I think
because she
so, Tom.
addressed it. She did address it to me, so.
Does anybody else in the room have any other questions that have not been answered that we asked as a group? I think we've gotten responses to just about everything that we requested. Anybody got anything else interesting to talk about? Oh, we just missed 8 o'clock. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
And the financial audit is very interesting to read also.
It's in my
The
pile.
68-page one?
Every year it's a disaster.
Can't, I don't know, yes.
Oh, I put it separate. There it is.
So you wouldn't lose track of it.
Well, the good news is we'll have it for next time, Tom.
Yep,
But
yep.
now you gotta send that to us so we can print it out for ourselves.
I'll make a copy of it.
It's on that, excuse me.
So I can forward the email that she sent.
Exactly.
Cause it just went to you.
Maybe you could forward it.
Yep, I can do that.
I will not be here next week.
Okay.
It's just information.
Is everybody gonna be here for the town meeting?
Yep,
Yes.
could've gone to Disney World and I'm not.
I would've picked Disney, but that's just me.
That's it, I mean, I came in under the wings of the prayer from somewhere in the country one time.
You
and
did.
Karen asked me where I changed, and I said in the parking lot on the way in.
Yep. I will ask tomorrow if we get that paperwork done. I will ask if my company will front us with 500 copies. That way it's us doing it and there's no additional expense to the town. And that way it's done.
Sounds good.
I will ask
And-
tomorrow.
and
I'll
Ted
have
and I
that answer
will-
next week.
And Ted and I will work on it.
Yeah, and I'll have that answer for you next week. I
Ted is
think-
one of them
I
teacher
think they'll
guys.
give me a
that-
ring of paper. Yeah,
Yes.
I think my company will give us a ring,
And-
but I'll ask.
And we can also, I have no problem standing up
handwrite
and
it.
giving an explanation about the sheet. I think we should.
Well, have you had the conversation
It won't be legible.
with the select board as to who's making the motions?
Well, yeah, see, that's not written down yet, I know, and it's always been that the financial ones, we make the motions.
Except last year. So that's the thing, we've gotta fight.
Last year too?
No, we
All
didn't.
right,
No, we did
We didn't
not.
do any of them?
Last year, we sat there with our
Good
thumbs up our.
good night, Tamika.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, oh no, I remember that very well, Tommy.
She's gone. I'm gonna shut this off.
She's still there.
Yeah, I gotta do that too.
All right.
Yep,
But I will ask Simon
Still
tomorrow.
recording, so.
We're not talking about anything.
No, I didn't.
No, but it's still recording.
Still.
I know.